this one. McClure calls for it, rolls out to his right, steps up in the pocket, fires deep to McClure, caught on the sideline, broken tackle at the 40. One man to beat, Jukes 30, broken tackle to the 20. Defense catches up with him and brings him down inside the 15. To his left, steps up in the pocket, eludes the pressure, now he'll tuck it and run, breaks a tackle on a first down. In the open field, 30.
See ya.
Smith to the 20, 10, defense can't catch him, and that's a touchdown for Smith McClure. Up the defense, right down the hashes. Nobody open downfield.
Hey, welcome back. That is if you were joining us last week. If not, welcome in. It's Sports Night. This is the show where we take a closer look at your favorite subject, Star Valley sports. Leading in, I was showing you clips of the 44-0 whomping Star Valley gave Shelley in the opening game of the year. That started them off 1-0 on the season. We'll get back into them in just a bit as they take on Preston this week. But first, I want to talk some volleyball today as we have our first check-in of the year of the Lady Braves program. Friday was a 1-1 day for Star Valley, lost in 2 sets to Thunder Basin and then defeated Cheyenne South in 2 sets. Next day, Cheyenne East was up and close second set, but ultimately Star Valley fell in 2 as well, and then finished it up against Laramie with a 2-set loss. So Star Valley goes 1-3 over the weekend. But those 3 losses came to number 1 Laramie, number 3 Thunder Basin, and number 4 Cheyenne East. And now Star Valley's seen the best the state has to offer. Denise Frazier was out in Cheyenne covering these games for SVI Media, and I was able to catch up with her and ask her some thoughts about the tournament and the first look we got at this new Star Valley varsity team. As she put it, wins, losses, not so important this early. It's more about who you're seeing.
Very beginning of the season, you should not be annihilating the competition. You should be probably in that middle range where you are seeing stuff that you're not prepared for, so you can see what you need to prepare for. If they can see where they've been, where they're headed, not only written out, talked about, but actually experienced, so much more beneficial for these girls than if it's just like, in the future, you're going to have.
One thing Denise mentioned time and again was the importance of these players getting up to varsity speed, and also learning that sometimes the small things actually are pretty big.
Sometimes the block, you're not going to touch it, but you're still doing your job because you're creating seams for the back row defense. They're starting to make those transitions just a little bit, and they're going to close those blocks, but it's a much bigger block. I think the girls were starting to see the importance of that, even with their mistakes. I think that they realized, oh, that's what that feels like.
Let's take a look at what Denise is talking about. This is an example of East being what we would call perfectly in system. The backline defender didn't have to move to make the pass. The pass was to the middle of the court, right where the setter wanted it, which leaves East with 3 options to go outside, middle, or right side with the attack. And you see the Star Valley middle and opposite hitter sprint to cover that side of the net. What they're trying to do here is cut off this area that we call line because, well, there's a line there. You'll also see the setter hanging out back here. She's the last line of defense if the ball gets past the block, but the idea here is to hide her behind the blockers so she doesn't have to take the first hit, which would make her ineligible to set the ball. Watch how the block affects the shot angle despite not getting any hands on the ball. Star Valley does a great job on this play at the net at blocking off the line, forcing the opposing outside to cut the shot with a cross-court hit. That's exactly what Star Valley wants because you have 3 players, your 2 back row players here and your outside hitter here, basically able to cover the rest of the court through their perimeter defense. In this case, it's a sharp cross right to our outside Atlee Button, who's one of our best ball handlers. She's able to send it up for our setter and get ready for a return attack. The ensuing return by East is botched, and Star Valley gets the point, not specifically off of a block, but with disciplined net line defense, minimizing opportunities for the opposing attack. The Star Valley girls continue their season tomorrow. They'll be at the Border Wars in Evanston. As you can see the schedule tomorrow, East, North Summit, Juan Diego, and Bonneville 1. Saturday, they take on Lyman, South Summit, Powell, and Cokeville. Now let's jump over to football, where the program is 1-0 after a shutout 44-0 win over Shelley. Preston comes into the season 0-2 with losses to Shelley and last week against Blackfoot. What do you need to know about this team, you may ask? Well, that's why I'm here. Carter Perry is their sophomore quarterback, and he's young, he's small, but he's very athletic, and you cannot doubt his toughness. 18 months ago, this middle schooler then was battling a form of kidney cancer, and he was able to work through that and be cleared just in time to play football before his freshman year. Now he enters as a second-year quarterback with some big targets around him. 6'4 senior Cruz Harris leads the bunch with 8 catches, followed by 6'3 senior Jake Schumann with 6. Reggie Larson, another senior and another 6'4 kid, is not far behind with 5 catches on the year. With about 20 feet of receiver between those three, Star Valley will need to be tight on their coverage tomorrow to avoid giving up some shots over the top. Another thing to watch for this team is their spastic defense and unpredictable blitz packages.
Preston, they like to blitz a lot of bodies and bring them from a lot of places, so we'll get tested that way this Friday. Our scout team on Tuesday, we just kind of told the front 7 to kind of do whatever they want and blitz wherever they want or pull off wherever they want, just try to make it complicated. And I didn't know how else to do it. Like, I don't, they do some pretty fun and exciting things with their defensive line and their linebackers, coming from different places. So, there's weeks where we have cards and drawings and different, directions that we give them. And I didn't know how to replicate that any other way than just to tell them to create chaos.
So I guess we might need to get ready for chaos. Hope your weekend's not so chaotic, and hope you can check out the game tomorrow either in person or live on SVInews.com. I'm Jake Hibbard. I'll see you tomorrow night with the highlights.